Hey folks, my guest today is Hana Mohan. She's the co-founder of Magic Bell, a notifications inbox geared towards app creators. Before that, she founded two other software companies, Support Bee and Musi Boo, an online music community where she can upload and discuss songs. She's a programmer, maker, transgender woman who speaks openly about her transition and was the first openly transgender woman to participate in Y Combinator. All right, Hana, you ready to take us to the top?
I am. Yes. Thank you.
Close out the Support Bee story because I remember you coming on being so impressed with how big you grew that bootstrap. Did you sell it?
No, we are still running it, and I have a team that runs it, and I'm like not involved in the day-to-day operations, but yeah, no, we retain the business as of now.
Okay, tell me about Magic Bell. What's it doing? What are people paying you for?
So Magic Bell was an idea that came out of SupportBee, in fact, because SupportBee relied heavily on notifications, email notifications, and mobile notifications, and I just spent so much time building notifications in SupportBee that at some point I figured this actually seems like a more interesting problem for me personally because SupportBee is a great business, but I am an engineer myself and I kind of always wanted to build an API product. And so Magic Bell is the notification inbox and then like a complete notification system for your product. So within an hour, you can have an inbox in your product, you can have email notifications, text notifications, and we'll manage let's click smart delivery so people don't get it twice, or if they mark it read in one place, it's read everywhere else. The entire kind of like modern notification experience out of the box.
That's amazing. Okay, and what do you charge on average for this?
So we do have a pretty generous free plan, kind of like PLG, I guess, and our paid plans start at $99 a month, going all the way
99.
up. Yeah, going all the way up to 1200, and then we also sell some custom contracts, enterprise upmarket.
Wow. Okay. So that's a huge range. I mean, would you say the sweet spot is sort of $100 a month, $200 a month, something like that?
So we are not very like open with the numbers here because we did raise some money and it's a different trajectory. But I'd say the average would be something around like 10,000 a year or something like that. Yeah.
And someone who's paying you 10,000 a year, what are they getting? Is it a number of notifications, number of seats, a
Yeah.
feature-based upsell? What's the story?
So we don't think of ourselves as like a delivery provider. So we price based more on the number of active users because we think that's how we deliver value to you by improving your retention and engagement within the product. And so it's based on the number of monthly active users, which is people who are notified or log in. So the listed prices, yeah, are very much kind of, every subsequent plan is more monthly active users. But I think, our average revenue is more so because we also sell upmarket enterprise deals. And there are things like infrastructure that's SOC 2 compliant or a data warehouse integration or a support SLA, things like that as well.
So if I'm paying you 10 grand a year, how many MAUs do I probably have?
If you're paying us 10 grand a year, then you're probably on our, I would say the pro plan, and you would have about 30,000 monthly active users. So let's say a
Amazing.
reasonably sized B2B
Yep.
app, B2B SaaS app. Yeah.
Yep. And put all this on a roadmap for me. When did you officially like spin the company out of Support B? When was like the launch date for Magic Bell?
Yeah, so I actually tried a couple of times really to, separate from Support B, but I think I got used to a paycheck from Support B. It was hard. But finally, we did it in October of 2020, and we launched pretty quickly in November 2020 on Product Hunt, got a few paying customers, and we got into YC in the winter of 21. And then it's been kind of like that path from there on.
That's amazing. And the YC model is 125K for 7%, right?
Yeah, that's what we got. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for it. I mean, no complaints that we didn't get 500. It's totally okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't even know that was an option. I was just curious what that was.
Now
So,
it is
okay,
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
that's nice. Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay. Yellow is what private equity. And red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Your first couple of customers in November 2020 via Product Hunt, which is obviously fantastic. How many customers are you scaled up to now today?
I would say it's about 100 paying customers. Yeah.
Okay. And so do you see this longer term? Is this going to be MailChimp? It's going to be for millions of people, or it's going to be for 1,000 people paying $100,000 a year?
I think it's going to be somewhere in between a Braze and a Twilio.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy. So by the way, maybe we should be toasting champagne right now, because if my math's correct, you just broke $1 million run rate.
I would rather not comment, but thanks.
As she says with a big smile. But for the audience, my math is at a 10,000 ACV on average. That's $830 a month times 100 customers. You obviously get that magic $83,000 a month number. But Hannah, we understand you can't talk about that since you've raised a little bit. That's fine. Talk to me about funding, though. You've bootstrapped in the past. Why decide to fund this one?
It's just a different kind of problem. I think one of the things I did learn from bootstrapping was bootstrapping clearly works, but for certain kinds of problems. And if you're solving infrastructure problems, or you want to upfront invest into building a solution and then get it profitable over the years, it's just better to raise money. And for this kind of problem, it just made sense.
Yep. So what did you decide to raise?
We ended up raising about 4.5 million last year in seed.
Okay, 4.5 seed. And most people, the seed rounds last year were selling 15 to 20% of the business. Were you sort of in that range?
To be very honest, I think a little bit more, because we went through YC. And I think it's also worth noting that 2021 was a pretty amazing year for fundraising. But as a women founder, it wasn't quite the same party. I think I was at a party, but not quite the same party. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Fair enough. Got it. So maybe selling a little more than 20%, but so somewhere between sort of a 10 and 20 million post money valuation, though, would be selling about 20%.
Averaged out, I would say. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And what do you think you need to get to in terms of revenue to go raise a competitive Series A if you want to go keep raising?
Yeah, I think at this point, anyone's guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. And so we are hoping that we can first break even. We have a small team of
how many?
11 people.
Oh, wow. How many engineers besides you?
We have 4 engineers. And we pay well. Sorry?
Including you?
No, not even including my co-founder.
Okay, so 6 engineers total.
Yeah. I don't code anymore.
You don't code? You don't miss coding?
I do miss coding, but I don't think I can quite code professionally anymore. Yeah.
I see. Okay, fair enough. So 6 engineers. So what are the other 4 or 5 people working on?
We have a marketer. We actually do have an operations person, because it really helps. One thing I think I realized was I was so used to half of my time was actually going into operations really in my bootstrap startup. And so I figured this time I should create more time for actually building the business. Yeah. We have somebody to help us with customer support, because we want to provide a different level of kind of service upfront. And we have a product designer, and we also actually have, from the very early days, we had a more generalist but brand leaning designer. And it's actually been one of the contrarian decisions that's worked out quite well for
Oh my
us.
God, the website's beautiful. It's paying off. Clearly, it's paying
Thank
off.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Tell me a little bit about how you went from 3 customers from Product Hunt to 100 customers today. What's the go-to-market strategy here?
I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, it's really like mostly content and posting on LinkedIn, things like that. We've had some referrals, but it's our product hunt launch and Hacker News launch helped, but it's actually largely been content. I mean, it's the funny thing is like those things really don't change that much.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we are like figuring out outbound, but it's definitely not trivial
Well,
for
we're
us.
certainly rooting for you. This is a heck of a story, which is fun. In the meantime, though, here, Hannah, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, last business book you read.
I can't recall actually, but
Okay.
actually Build by Tony Fadell. Like, yeah.
Yep. That's a good one. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I actually think Jeff Lawson is a great CEO, and then Launch Darkly, Edith. She's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Great story there, too. Number 3, how many hours of sleep do you get every, or sorry, what's your favorite online tool for building Magic Belt besides your own?
Um, my favorite online tool, one that I've personally used, but not with the team, is Rome Research. Like it's kind of really helped me get more structured. With the team, I would say my team's starting to adopt Hugo. I don't know if you've heard of it. It looks
Yep.
quite useful right now. Yeah.
Yep. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I actually aim to get 8. I've been very diligent. In fact, one of those things, like since the first couple of years are always so hard, I'm trying to now restore my health. And I bought this Whoop. It's a product I love.
Yep.
And yeah, no, so I'm very serious about it. I don't always get it, but that's what I aspire to.
That's a good one. Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
Still with my 2 cats.
2 cats. Love that. Okay. And do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 40.
40, 30 or 40?
40.
40? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. You look 30. So that's good. Last question. Something you
Always use a
something
compliment like that. Yeah.
something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Oh my gosh. It's well, one, I wish I knew I was trans. Like, I mean, that's just like the
Yep.
honest answer. And I also recently got diagnosed with ADHD, so I wish I knew that. Actually, that's been kind of life changing. So really, I wish I had a businessy answer, but it's really like, those are the foundational things I wish I
Hey,
really
when
knew.
you're bootstrapped and you're running 2 business, personal is business. So that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to me. Guys, support B Bootstrapped. She had a lot of success. Incubated Magic Bell inside of it before spinning it out in 2020. Now NYC raised 4.5 million seeds, sold about north of 20% of the business to do that, but scaling nicely now. 100 customers. These customers paying $10,000 per year for Magic Bell's all-in-one notification system. They do everything for you. She's solving her own pay point, scaling fast here. We'll see what happens next. Hana, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you so much.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.